But I'll take your calls on it, that's all. I'll see what you have to say about it on the Savage Nation. I've had such amazing calls. I've taken none yet. Scranton, Pennsylvania. Bob, welcome. You're on the Savage Nation. Fire away.
Michael, God bless you. I've been saying the same thing for years about the violence in the movies, the video games, rap music. The kids don't have a chance when they see all this stuff. It's embedded into their brains.
Thank you.
When they do flip out, that's what happens. I agree 100% on
right. And now add to the fact that he was a punk, cowardly loner, and he was a coward of the highest order who shoots, bad enough shooting anybody, but goes to little defenseless children and then shoots himself when he's about to be killed by the cops because he wanted to show he was in control. You realize the psychosis of that, don't you, Bob?
Oh yes, I agree with that. Also, if he had any kind of, if he was any kind of person, he'd shoot it out with the police. I mean, be a man or whatever if you want.
He didn't. Well, listen to this. He didn't even want death by police. Think about that. No one has brought up why he shot himself as the cops were coming. He wanted to be in control to the last second. The man, this little piece of garbage, had no control over any aspect of his life. He felt like an atom in the midst of the universe. So, therefore, he goes out in a blaze of glory. But something's wrong with the picture, by the way, Bob. I still keep asking the preppers that the mother belonged to. I want to know who the prepper group was. I want to know if any of the others had any inklings of what he was going to do, because something's wrong with the picture. These psychotics generally don't work in a vacuum, Bob. That's been my analysis from my readings and what I can glean from the literature. There's something else here. And somebody else knows something that we're not hearing yet, Bob. Thank you for the call. Let's go to the next caller in Washington, D.C. on the great WMAL. Tim, fire away. You're on the Savage Nation.
Hey, I just want to tell you that I do agree with you on most points, except for the point about the censorship of the games, and I'll tell you why. Whose ultimate responsibility is it to the child and what games they do and do not play, and what movies they do and do not see?
Well, I've heard that argument. Certainly you say, well, it could be available for adults over 21 who should steep themselves in killing people on a video game. Okay, argue that adults need the outlet. I would argue they don't need it either. But children can access these games without parents around. They can download them, can't they, Tim?
To a certain extent, yes. I worked for several years at a GameStop, local video game retailer, and we have a policy in place that you cannot sell an M-rated game, that's basically an R rating, 18 and up, to anyone under that age unless a parent is present to conduct the transaction themselves.
All right, then maybe the parents are buying them for the kids so that keeps the kid occupied. How do I know? Maybe you have a crazy child like this. You do whatever he wants. You give him the liberal way. He wants a video game, you buy him a video game. He wants a more violent video game, you buy him a more violent video game. If the brat wants something more violent, you get him something more violent. He wants gun training, give the crazy brat gun training, even though he's unstable and on medication. Never say no to the brat. Okay? I hear you on that one. Never say no. We're talking about the depths of the tragedy in different ways. We're unfolding the depths. I want you to remember the parents can never recover from this. There's no healing. No amount of balloons and teddy bears on the ground in Newton are going to heal the parents. I never heard such rubbish. And all these pop psychologists on television, they're healing you already. They're giving you the mumbo jumbo like voodoo. They're healing you already with their hocus pocus. The doctor this and the doctor that and the child this and this. And we need healing and we need therapy. You don't need any of that. Just rein in Weinstein, Tarantino, and take them with the drugs. Don't give them any gun permits. Let's start with that. Stop with the voodoo. Rein in Weinstein and Tarantino. That's not voodoo.